Hi, Pam. How you doing? Hi, Lake. Um, hey, Nick. Hold on a minute, guys, please. I got to get rid of this. It keeps beeping on me, this speaker thing. I was using it because my laptop speakers aren't that loud, and so I was using that so I could hear her better. Hey, Philip. That's okay, but thank you for stopping by. Been missing you. How you doing? Hey, Crime. Karen. Cold Truth. Mel. Howdy. Yeah, I was using that, what do you call it? Bluetooth speaker. Because my computer is, the speakers suck. Oh, I'm so sorry, Philip. Well, I have an update. They're actually going to let him go home in a few days. They've got his, they've got him on some new meds. Part of the reason he was falling and stuff are his meds. And so they're trying to get those adjusted because he's still having that problem. Hey, Otto. So they're trying to get those adjusted so that won't be a problem. And they're going to start in-home therapy because when he, on one of his falls, he fractured something. So, but thank you, Philip. And I am so sorry to hear that. Yeah, Otto and Philip. Two peas in a pod almost, huh? Because you guys both do such a great job. Oh, dang. I hate that for you, Philip. Hi, Cher. Yeah, we'll wait a little bit and see who all makes it. I see if Radar makes it. I have a feeling she's not going to. I haven't heard from her all day, and she's been really super busy lately. Yeah, Mel, Crime's asking you that question. They originally said he died of natural causes, but then they changed it to homicide. Which means defeats everything Garrett's saying, right? So that's what they got a hold of, Crime then. That's what she's saying. My glasses are dirty. I hate that. I hate my glasses. They seem to never stay clean for me, and it really drives me crazy because I see a spot here and there. And well, hi, Debbie. Yeah, it's good news, Pam. I just hope they get things right. Another good thing is he's changing doctors. I like that. I didn't like his other doctor, even though I didn't know who he was because he wouldn't let me know because, you know, I went through that. with you guys. While we're waiting, for those of us that live in Indiana, I don't know how you all are feeling right now. We have a May 1st deadline right now. Yes, Pam. My opinion on this is, though, I watch the governor's live. I try to watch it every day. If I miss it, then I just go back and just, check for the update, and so on. It's hard right now. It's confusing. It's, I know it's hard on everybody. I didn't even know, and this is going to sound stupid. This is going to make me sound like an idiot. Thank you, Philip. Thank you. I know you always are. You have a good night and stay safe. I voted for Holcomb because Mike Pence recommended him, and I like Mike Pence. So, but then, I'm like, I didn't like Holcomb for, especially this past year for several reasons. And one of them, yes, is his stance on marijuana. Because I think it is needed, medically. But through this, what's going on, I think he's doing a good job. I really do. I think people need to understand that it's probably not easy for him. Hi, Sharon. And I realize that I feel sorry for the business owners, the small business owners. I have friends that are small business owners. I have a friend that owns a tattoo business. That's how he provides for his family. I have, people that own salons. And heck, I need to go to one. I need a haircut. I need a wax. I need all that. But I guess I'm in the middle here. I feel like people need to go back to work. But I think we still need the stay-at-home order too. Is there a way to do both? That's where I stand on it. Hey, Ginger. I don't think he's going to open everything up on the 1st. I think he's going to extend it. And I know everybody's looking forward to the race and that and certain things, but somebody made a comment during his live that there are third world countries that have it so much worse than us. It's like, can anybody just be thankful right now for just a little bit for what we do have when we see all these other people suffering? Yeah, I was on there, Sharon. I made some comments, actually. There's a troll on there that's on there every day criticizing the governor and everybody else that's on there that doesn't agree with her, Alice and somebody. Anyways, I'm just trying to make small talk while I'm waiting for everybody to get in here, so we can discuss what we're really here to discuss. It was on my mind. I just wanted to bring it up. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying everybody has to agree with me, and you know that. Everybody's opinion in here is valuable. Really, Lake? Because my husband's supposed to go back to work on the 4th too, and he hasn't heard anything different yet, but he might. Ginger, I do too, but are they going to, or are they just assuming they're going to? I think they're just planning on it if he opens everything up on the. Oh, hi, Sabrina. Sorry, hun. I was rushing around. My internet went down. We have a big outage here in our area. Our internet was down. I was like, oh, please, Lord, please let it come back on. We're supposed to discuss, this case tonight. I messaged Mel and Cher early on, and I said, my internet's down, guys. I said, I'm just praying it'll come back on, in time. Can you guys excuse me? I'm going to throw that speaker down to my husband and tell him, I don't know how to shut it off. Hey, hon. Hey, hon. Where you at? It keeps blooping real loud. I don't want it to interfere. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't want it to interfere. Yeah, they're opening Florida Monday. And I guess that if they do things, if they do open things back up, I guess the only thing we can do, those of us that, is just follow the stay-at-home order on our own. I mean, I do, like I said, I do feel bad for those, I guess some still aren't getting their unemployment. I know my husband isn't. He did not, he's only supposed to be laid off for 2 weeks. So this week was his first week to file. But I'm assuming that's why he didn't, last week, Sunday. I'm assuming that's why he didn't get it. And then, so he would only get 2 weeks anyway. But I see a lot of people still complaining, but I know people personally that have gotten it. I mean, I do feel bad for people that, it's just like a confusing situation all around, but a lot of people are just upset solely on the stay-at-home order. And I just don't think us here in Indiana have it that bad. I mean, because essentially, we aren't stuck in our homes, and we can still do a lot of things. And by the way, Otto, you can go fishing. I've been meaning to tell you that, but you may already know that. And, I mean, campgrounds are closed. State parks are open, which, of course they would be, you got to pay. But I mean, I don't know. It is a sad situation, but Exactly, Ginger. That's what I do, Nick. And you know, and everybody was hollering at the governor and blaming him for everything. And my husband made a comment, you know, like you said, those people that are complaining, when it backfires, they'll turn around and blame the governor. Like if he does open up everything, those same people will turn around and put the blame on him. Oh, I called my berry doctor today, and I have a televisit with them. So that's good. I'll get my B12 shots started again, whether through my family doc or through the pharmacy. If it's through the pharmacy, my insurance doesn't cover that much and I'll have to pay. But that's probably the way I'll have to go since this stuff's going on. But it is easier that way. You know, I'll have to give myself the shots, but because those vitamins, I don't know, they just aren't working. And plus I don't have to travel that far to go to my doctor doc. There was. Did you shut it off though?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Oh, there's my radar. I didn't see her come in, but I heard somebody say it. And then hi, Ohio. So it looks like everybody's in so far anyway. And oh, hello, Edward. What'd you do anyways? You said you got banned from Facebook, you troublemaker. Did I miss anybody? The shots, Ginger? Yeah, they seem to be the only thing that I'm lacking it from so long. But when I take the vitamins, they just don't absorb. They're not working. But oh, and they asked me too. They said, "Do you want the virtual or do you want to wait till July for an office visit?" And you never have to wait that long there for an office visit. So see, it's almost like these people know something anyways. Because like I said, our one bank for my car, they just sent us an email. We didn't ask anything. They just sent us an email and asked us if we wanted 3 months of our payments put at the end of our loan. They used to, Sharon, but they stopped. Now, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they've changed back. It's been so long. They used to pay for everything. Of course, the syringes were free. But then all of a sudden I had to pay. And the pharmacy's like, well, they're not covering it. So I said, well, just wait. I went home and I called and they said, you have to go to your doctor. If you go to your doctor and they give you the shots, it's covered. But we don't cover. I don't know why, Sharon. The shots, Ginger, or just the pills? I'm sorry if you already answered me and I missed it. What? I missed it. Running my mouth about Edward. Well, yeah, women should vote. You're right, Pam. That could be too, Sharon. But usually the pharmacist will say that. I mean, usually they'll say they need to, I don't know, but it'd be nice if they do cover it. B12 is the only shot. Yeah. Because I've been taking all my other vitamins. I take my little Flintstone that they tell me to take every day. And I take my D3. And I've been taking the B12s, and I've been taking extra of them because that's what, when they start giving me my shots, they'll tell me to take, like I'll have to take, because it's supposed to be once a month, but they'll tell me to do so much every week for so long and then go back to regular because I haven't had it for, as a matter of fact, I'm surprised they didn't tell me to get my labs done so they can see where I'm at with my labs. My D3 should be fine though. Yes, that's true, Ginger and Sharon. Okay, guys, are we ready to start? D2. What's that, Ginger? I've never heard of that. That's probably true, Edward. You're right. Dirt never hurt nobody. I got to make sure I'm not. My ex-daughter-in-law is supposed to message me. By the way, I talked to Randy real quick, and we were planning on having him on the show Friday, but I guess I'm going to have my grandkids this weekend because my son has to work, so I'm keeping them the weekend. I probably won't be on Friday and Saturday, guys. So I messaged Randy and asked him if he could come on tomorrow. And as of right now, I haven't heard from him yet, so I don't know if he will be able to. If not, then I'll have him on next week. But it is going to happen. And it's a surprise about what case we're going to talk about. Pam wants me to give a shout out to Bailey. Well, hey, Bailey. Is Bailey here or just listening? Calcium. Okay, Ginger. Okay. And I could probably use that. Especially because I should go to the dentist more than I do. I hate dentists. I did get some good news from 10. Well, kind of good, not bad. She really needs our prayers, but she is finally going to get her tooth pulled. Yes, it's going to be a surprise. I sent him some stuff to look at. It was quite interesting. Oh, and for those of you, you may know and you may not know, and it may not be new news to you, but I think it's interesting. I like True Crime Garage. They're also on YouTube, not just, they don't just have their podcast. And they had part 1 out last night. They have part 2 out today of the Evansdale murders. So you guys, and which is, you know, that case is really similar to Delphi. So Pam. I got a surprise today. I can't say what it is, though. My husband's laughing at me. Yep, we'll probably never know, Edward. So, did you crime? I started to part 1, but I fell asleep, I think. Can't remember what happened. Oh, Otto, I am so sorry, by the way. I have gotten so busy and everything, but I am going to get a hold of you. Mom made me a list today. I hate those lists. I went to the dollar store, and then I had to go to Walman's. Dollar store was plumb out of sugar, paper towel, but they did have they had plenty of toilet paper, no paper towel. Oh yeah, crime. It's very similar to this. Yeah. Mom said, I need some slippers. And she did, because, oh, that's a whole long story. But anyways, I said, I'm not going anywhere, Mom, but, I'm not going to the big store. And she goes, I don't care. I just need some. Well, they had some cute slippers. They had a pair that said, need coffee. Well, those are perfect for me, right? Well, then they had a pink pair that said queen. Okay, on one slipper it said need, the other one said coffee. The pink pair said queen, and the other said nap. Well, that's perfect for me too, but the thing is the sizes. So anyway, I got her a pair of the need coffee, and then I got the other pair, and I said, take your pick. The other pair would have been perfect for her because we call her the queen. Well, hi, 10. She's listening. Okay. Well, hey, Bailey again. But anyways, so yeah, I did some running today. I was really wore out today for no reason at all, really, before I got started. I re-listened to the podcast as much as I could before my internet went down. I hope everybody here listened to it. So, Mel's been quiet. Is she still here? Because she's probably going to be needed to answer some questions. I tried to take notes. Oh, no, Mel. Again? Well, let's get started then. We don't want Mel to fall asleep. I mean, she needs sleep probably. She probably needs rest. But to start off, of course, it's no doubt Mel did an excellent, excellent job. Full of information. I don't even know where to begin because it was so good, but we learned a lot. I think a lot about the victims. Not the victims, the perps in this podcast, didn't we? A lot. Radar. Rand, who are we talking about, hon? Oh yeah, Nick, she did. She did. I mean, she's just so good. I mean, I think I think she's just as good as some of these podcasters that's been doing it forever. And if we didn't know her, we wouldn't know any better, would we? And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend and I'm trying to make her feel good or anything. I mean, that is my honest opinion. God strike me dead. She's got such a good voice. She explains things very well. She digs in. She gets the facts. I mean, the facts. Oh, goodness, Mel. Oh, Pam. Praise the Lord. I mean, proud grandma there, but yes, I know, honey. I know. I can't imagine. I sure will be praying. Right, Sharon. Okay, Radar. I get you. I got you. Well, according to everybody on disability is supposed to get their stimulus checks by the end of this month. I don't know if it will happen. Tomorrow is the end. Social Security, disability, everybody in that category. Well, as long as nobody is offended, I know some of my mods here are his mod, and I don't think he will mind dropping his PayPal in here. Yes, she does, Tin. She has a radio voice. So as long as nobody takes offense to that, I don't think anybody in my chat would. Randy needs help, guys. He lives on a very, very, very fixed income. And so I'm going to ask my mods to have his PayPal to drop it here. And if anybody just feels laid upon your heart to give, to help him, do so. And that's all I'm going to say. You know, I'm not putting pressure on anybody. Or, you know, some of you do know his address. You can do, you know, like crime offered to do. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not, you know, trying to, Randy is a very, very good-hearted person. He's not, you know. That's very, very sad, Radar. Yeah. And he's very modest, too. I mean, Randy, he totally is. They were supposed to do that here too, Sharon. I don't know if they did or not. I don't know if I don't know if he has those. I mean, it's not my business. Oh, yes, Mel is very, very sincere. And, when we've driven to and from the courthouse and we've had talks and, yeah, her heart is so, with, and, like I've said before, when you actually meet families of the victims, your heart just, yeah, Ginger says someone drop a link. So Radar or Crime, can you drop Randy's PayPal, please? Yeah, he's right. He's in White County 10. Yeah, he may not have gotten that yet, Pam. I know a lot of people we haven't gotten ours. Okay, Crime dropped the link. It's right up there. It's above Pam where she said stimulus check. So let's get started on the case, guys. Any questions about the podcast? Like I said, I know there's some things we can clear up, because there were some rumors. Two of the biggest was let's just start with Christopher Mathis was incarcerated at the time of the Delphi murders. That was a big one. Ashley Garth was not living by or near the bridge at the time of the Delphi murders. She was living with her grandmother. And she kept violating and violating and violating her probation. What do you want to come on here, Mel? And you can do it without your mic, or I mean your camera. It'll be easier that way. That way my phone doesn't cause all that stuff. You want me to invite you? Crime posted the link, Radar. I don't think it'll upset anybody. I mean, people who want to help will, and people who don't won't. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, Crime. I mean, Mel. Take me just a minute. Okay, Mel, I sent it in your messenger. Yeah, so she just kept, I mean, Mel will be here in a minute, but I think what Mel was getting to is that, and she admitted these things in court. She just kept messing up on her own. Rumor was that she was snitched out by Derek, but I think the truth is that, she kept failing drug tests. She kept messing up. And hi, Babs. And okay, Sharon. So, she was just, that's why she kept getting in trouble over and over and over. I don't think, the rumor was that Derek snitched on her. She lost her kids. And so that's probably why, supposedly everybody thought Garrett killed the girls. Revenge on Derek. But doesn't look like that. Oh no. Oh no. My thing needs charged. Hey, hon? Yeah. Can you get my charger for my e-cig thing? Where's that? It's plugged in downstairs by my bed with all my other chargers, but it's the black cord. I'll need the whole thing though, the block and everything. Thank you. My husband's so sweet. Right, Edward. No, Pam, it's sure not. No. I mean, that's what we're hoping that Bob Guy will. Okay, Mel. I'm going to heat my coffee up while we're waiting on you. I sat here and let it get cold. Yes, we are, Radar. Well, that was fast, huh? Thank you. Be right back, guys. Oh, by the way, these e-cigarette things I found out today, they have 5% nicotine, the pods I buy, because I went to the gas station I used to go to all the time in Delphi, because I went to Delphi today. And he goes, 5% pods or 2.5. I said, huh? 5%. I said, I didn't know they were different. I'm like, I hope I've been getting the 5%. And then I looked and I have been. But that was news to me. That'd give me a heart attack, Radar. Where you at, Oliver? You want to say hi to your old mama? I don't mean old. I don't mean she's old. Well, there you are. Oh, they can't see you. Can they see you? Oh, you see Oliver, guys? Yeah, he's made himself. Oh, I'm sorry, Mel. Here comes Mel, guys. Yeah, he's made himself.
Hi.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mel.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Let me see if my speak. Yeah, I can hear you. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to, but I can.
I've got my microphone, so tell me when you can hear me better.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Okay.
Can you hear me better now? Or now?
The first time.
The first time? Okay. I just want to make sure the mic works for this.
Yeah.
How is everybody tonight?
I'm great.
Yeah.
So Mel's on, guys.
Oh, good. Good. Sorry if I'm slow.
Oh, you're fine. So I was clarifying that Chris Mathis was incarcerated at the time of the murders.
Yes, that took me a lot of digging. But if you go in and look at the, I didn't read them just because they were so long and ridiculous. I did mention that he writes like a girl, but the date on that is indicative of, I think it was 7/16, but he talked about, he had to have been, he was in Newton County Jail because he actually was, that whole year, it was Newton County, Howard County, and Tippecanoe County, where he was being, as soon as he was released from one place, he had orders to transport to those other places. So yeah, I mean, reading those cases is so hard because they're all converted. Like I said a million times, they're never not in trouble. And that was what with Ashley Garth. When you get to really looking at it and you put them in the order of like dropping off where the conversions are and putting them where they belong in the original case, she failed so many drug tests. Like when she was on home detention with her grandma, she failed the drug test, and I think that one was the one was just like, that's one of them. It was that one, or when she got in trouble for the criminal misdemeanor again, they just said, okay, that's it. You got to serve the rest of your sentence. We're done messing about. And so she didn't go to jail for anything other than her own failure to pass drug tests and repeated getting in trouble. But she doesn't have anything that would be worthy of law enforcement or like a prosecutor's office saying, oh, well, you've got this dirt on Ashley Garth, Derek German. So that's, when they do that, like, it's got to be a dealer. They have to be dealing in some major drugs in order to be an informant.
Right.
So Ashley Garth she doesn't have anything that backs that up. And Garrett's doesn't either. He's not been charged with anything dealing or meth related. It's all violence.
Right. Right. I think, it's just, I think just, my personal opinion that, so many people are just grasping at straws in that other case. And then he came along, and then, he knew the mayors, and then, his dad knew Ron, and then they put all that together. And then it somewhat kind of made sense, and they wanted it to make sense. And then, and so many people are just hopeful, I think, but
yeah. And if
Um,
you notice, I don't say that I don't know. I'm not, and I said that one time when I was speaking with you and Kat, where I said, I'm not narcissistic enough to think that I know who killed Abby and Libby.
right.
It could be Jake, it could be Garrett, but I'm just saying the motive is not revenge. If he did it, it would be because of his pathologies. If he was there that day out for a walk, he knows the bridge, and they rebuffed him in some way, he is so impulsive that he could lose it. But this is a kid that is not, we've seen it. I mean, he's not real smart. He was on Spice at that time. So if it was him, he would have had to have some major help cleaning that up.
Okay. Hold on a minute. Radar. She was talking about Chris Mathis at that time. She wasn't talking about Garrett. But she did mention in the podcast about Garrett. And I want to get to that
Yeah,
too.
Ginger.
I want to get to that about his juvenile. She did speak on that, him being arrested, and going back to his juvenile, and then the Whites. You brought up Whites.
Yeah,
There's a Whites boys school.
it's in Warsaw. Mhm.
Yeah, and there was one in Plainfield. I think around Plainfield. I don't know if there still is, but there was at one time. But it kind of sounded like that's what they were talking about. Is that what you were talking about, or you were not sure?
White.
Yeah, when they were
Are you
talking
talking?
about him getting, yeah, when he was.
Yeah, from what I found, it's the one over. I mean, it's not far from his, like his address from when I mapped it out. I mean, I would assume that it is the one that's the residential. So if they're in a shower, then you're staying there. You know what I mean? They do have other facilities, but I think that one was the only residential. And they have programs that work through the courts. They have I think it's a Christian deal. And they have one for, like, I don't know. The only thing I can think of when I was reading through it is like Pray the Gay Away Camp, those like cult things. Like you'll have to read through that. It was strange.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know about the residential one. I only knew about the Whites boys school.
Mm-hmm. I had somebody contact me that knows quite a lot about that case. So hopefully we'll have some intel on that one come soon.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was such a like a crazy back and forth. And I think it was telling as to the way that he went at that guy and that guy. I mean, it was he just has to have the last word, has to be right, has to be the macho. Ugh, yuck.
Yeah. I think
But his posse radar, like, it's changed quite a bit from 2017. If you notice in his Facebook, I mean, he's real clear about it too, because he names them all and it's like, this is my ride or die, my forever, whatever. And they weren't, a lot of them weren't the same as the ones that we see now. I think a lot of them did meet in that Tippecanoe County Community Corrections. Good Lord, what a long word.
Yeah.
Yes, Edward, for sure.
Well,
but it's such a false persona. It's like the impulsive, no, the domineering is just like he pretends to be, but I just don't really think he is. I think he's a big old baby.
Yeah.
Impulsive baby.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, you know, he
and
probably
Alcorn?
knows at all how he puts himself out to be. When he gets to prison, boy, he's going to be sorry. But you know what I found interesting too is
Edward.
When you said that you do believe that he is probably gay or bi. I mean, you didn't say bi, but I'm saying that because obviously he, you know, goes with girls too. But I did not used to think that. I thought he would probably, I thought maybe what he did was go to these gay chats and maybe set other homosexuals up.
Yes, I agree with you completely. Yeah, I do too. But I think that he is angry about his sexuality, and he, like when you're a deflector, you have the personality of like, you don't want to be this. And so you take it out on anyone that personifies what you are, but don't want to be. And I think that's why his anger towards and what he did to Ray, he hated that, he wanted that, and took it out on Ray. So, yeah, I think he did target gay men. I mean, we kind of have seen one story, okay, but 2 and then 3 of people saying that, yes, he was trying to do the same things to them. I mean,
yeah.
I try to apply Occam's razor to everything. But when you have, a few different people saying that he targeted them, I tend to believe it. And then you see with her, he was in Grindr. So was Ray.
Yeah.
And then you have those messages to share the night of.
Right.
Makes you wonder. I think that he targeted him, and a targeted crime is premeditated for one, and it could be considered a hate crime because of you're targeting someone because of their sexuality.
Right.
But with Ray, there's just so many unknowns right now, and I can't imagine how hard that is on his family,
Oh, I know. Well, and then the message was his niece, is her name Angie? That got me.
Yes.
She said he messaged her just out of the blue and said, "Love you, baby girl."
Love you. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That got me.
Hey, Ginger, with the Andy Alcorns and that craziness. I mean, he is friends with a lot of them. I found him on a lot of their pages, and I know they go way back. I'm not sure about Garrett, but I know some of the others. And is there anything suspicious? I came across a comment about his wife. He had left her at that time and was with another girl that he was she was charged with some things, but his wife died. And I think it might have been a relative of hers that said something about, I think he killed there was something suspicious about her death. Does anybody know anything about that? I think her name was Rachel, but she was the one that was on that order with Ashley Garth.
I went today looking while we're waiting on her to answer. Because they're in prison now. The women can have tablets too. In Indiana, and they can have Facebook.
What?
So I went to see if Jasmine had a Facebook, and I don't know, because there were several Jasmine Parkers. But they were all locked down pretty good, and none of them had her picture. So I don't know, but yeah, the women have tablets now. I mean, the prisons have for quite a while, and
they have just unlimited access to the internet.
Yeah. And I mean, it just recently started.
Sending them to prison or like resorts? What's going on? I mean, good God.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably don't allow sexual offenders.
Well, guess what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to start hitting up their messenger. See if I can get them to talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you can in jail. I mean, I know you can't in jail. But yeah. And, the only reason I know that is because, you all know I've been to prison, and there's a couple sites for the people that have been in prison, and somebody that was in prison just decided to, I was in the groups, they just decided, I mean, I went in the groups one day and I'm like a moderator. You know how that happens in some groups, some of the crime groups, they do that to you. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. And so I got a notification one day to approve somebody, and so while I was at it, I went in there just to look at the posts, and they were talking about the virus, how it was spreading, and how they had locked them down and for a few days, but then they had access to their tablets again. So then I was like, oh, wow. Oh, okay. So today I just started, I'm like, I wonder if Jasmine's got a Facebook then.
I think so too, Pam.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the comments. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, I think, especially when you hear the timeline, and that was what was so revealing. I learned so much of finally just when I spoke it all out. I learned a lot because it was like, oh, wait a minute. That was on March 25th that he threatened her life on Facebook. And on March 25th, that same night, later on that same night, she sends her sister a message, I'm in trouble. And I think that to me, it read as she didn't really get the response from her sister, because she was like, do you even care if I live or die? Which for her sister, I have dealt with many addicts in my family, and I know that you do not feed that. You don't give them money. I mean, I've been to Al-Anon many times for family members, and so she did the exact right thing. But then she did ask her, what was it? What's going on? And she said, just real quick, it was just like, I need a place to stay. Like, she was just trying to make something up almost. And then with the way she stopped by the house, I mean, she could have called and told her grandma that these things were going to come.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because she wanted to see her boys as well, but she probably knew her boys' schedule and that it was a school night and they would probably be in bed, so why was it she, had to stop by? And then when she calls Ginger and many family members off record and on have explained Nicole that way, of just a very upfront person and like to have real conversations, like in person, kind of a person. And the 28th, I know that the papers and everything say the 29th, but I just have to question that because of the timing of everything. And the court, 3 of them say 3/28 of 19. They don't say 3/29. Clerical error on 1, but on 3? But then again, why would the other 2 say the 29th? You know?
Right.
Just makes me wonder if that's off.
Mm-hmm.
The 28th, that was the night she didn't show up to Ginger's. Ginger felt like she couldn't talk because someone was listening. Did they get the sense that she was going to talk? I mean, she knew that the state police were looking for her. And then with Talitha getting that warrant, it was just out of the blue. I mean, she just got accepted into the pretrial release program, which blows my mind. Like, she would be the last one that I would think would get approved, because I didn't even read most of that girl's history because it was so long. It would have taken a whole hour. Like, the stack on her, and I'm not kidding, for all of them, the stack that I printed off was almost an entire bundle of printing paper, front and back. So it was actually over a whole bundle of printing paper. Crazy.
Wow. It's raining. I thought I heard something. Pam, we believe that he is. Your second comment there, that's what we thought before. And I mean, he probably still did do that. But Mel and I think now that, yes, he really is bisexual. But I wanted to touch on that too, Mel, about Nicole calling her sister. Because I think Brittany was put in a tough situation there, because like you said, I totally understand where Brittany was coming from, how she felt that night, not knowing what was going on and what was about to happen. You know, my, my situation with my son. And then I've had other family members that, in addiction. And so, yeah, Brittany thought the usual.
Exactly.
She had no idea.
And I've been in her shoes with a similar message with my nephew,
And I have too. And, and it's hard. And now, I feel bad for Brittany because, I mean, I feel terrible for her now.
She is. I finally got to meet her for the first time with the one that was the big ice storm. And it literally was fine all the way till I got off on what's the road there to the long road, the very long road to go to the Newton County Courthouse. Like, no ice, no snow, no nothing. And man, oh, it was so scary. But yeah, I got to meet her because it was canceled when we got there. So we all went out to eat and she came, and she is just such a delight. Like, she's really cool. She's a very smart, very talented, very gifted person. And I really enjoyed meeting her. And I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. And, just a great family. All of them. Just sitting at that table with them was... You just and they're so welcoming to you, and and Ginger and Cheryl's brother going back and forth, man. Them two crack me up. I know you've seen it.
Yeah. And
And when you're there, they add you right into it.
they always invite, they always invite us out to eat, and I'm just never able to go. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like I said, these families, they're so awesome. And,
Yes, Edward, that's true.
And yeah. Trying to look at my notes. Let's see. I've got down here. I just jotted things down, thinking I would probably know what I meant.
I feel like we missed. Was it Radar or Crime Sleuth that was saying something about Rachel Alcorn's her death? I know I read on it was probably her Facebook. Or she did have kidney disease, or maybe it was her obituary. It said she had kidney disease and she'd had like a hip surgery, but that comment just kind of was like, has he done something else? But I don't know. The time, like the Andy Alcorns thing, that was just completely outside of this case. I don't think it had any involvement. It just was like, wow, what, like her name was on there. So just kind of like, ooh, there's some interesting names on that. If you look it up, you'll see them. I'm not going to say them out loud, but.
On Garrett's page?
No, it was on Ashley's criminal history.
Oh, okay.
The no contact order she had when she was on the in-home detention. There's like 5 or 6 people mentioned. But with Stephen Masterson, I mean, what the heck?
Oh, yeah. That caught my attention too.
He said, I was behind you in my truck. I stayed with you until, like, I called the ambulance and I stayed with you. But he was charged with that, leaving the scene of an accident prior to, because you can tell when it's converted like that, it's because they become of age. So there's no real like back history, because that was in 2014. So he would have been a minor. His record didn't go on there until what? I mean, 2016 is when he turned 18, right?
I think so. Radar. Yeah. Is that correct? I know she knows.
But it just kind of was like, wow, did he really just, because he even didn't say, he said, I stayed until, but it kind of seemed like he might have just left him and ran when the police got there.
I mean, it sounds like something he'd have done.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Radar says true, but if they were staying behind to party, why have her take the car? Oh, she's talking about unless they feared she'd tell. Maybe they told to take the car just to get her out of the house so they could do their evil. Oh, she's talking about at Ray's. No punching me, but has anyone tried to visit any of these people in jail when sober? Sometimes we'll talk. I don't think these people will crime.
Oh my God.
I mean, seriously, crime. If you
really just can't even put it into words, Angie, to explain it to people. Like, we really can't even put it into words to explain how disrespectful they are. Like, you just have to see it for yourself. I mean, that smirk, I will never forget that smirk that Ashley Garth threw at the family.
Yeah, when she got bond. I mean, and they sit in that bullpen and look over at us or the family, and smile, and they sit over there and laugh and joke and carry on. And I don't think they'll talk to anybody. And Garrett, he just acts like he's so sure he's going to get off. I mean, they all act like that, don't they?
Mm-hmm. I do know he had just turned 21 when he killed Ray and Nicole. He had just had his 21st birthday, I think, in February. So 19, 18, 17, 16.
And you have to be on their visiting list. They have to put you on their. I mean, I'm going by Tippecanoe County. And you can only have like. And this has been like a while. I haven't visited anybody in jail forever, but 3 visitors, and they have to have you on there.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It went away so I couldn't see who said kept an eye on her and threatened her because she still had kindness in her heart, unlike them. Yes, I completely agree with you. Whoever said that, it went up, so I can't see it. But I think that because remember with Jasmine, because I do think that she could have possibly been there because of those stop snitching signs. I remember me and Ginger talking about that early on and been like, what the heck though? Because they go back before Nicole, so they must not be related. And then we find out about Ray and it's like, oh my God, was she repeatedly sharing that then as a warning?
Right.
To anyone that was at Ray's, because the family has said that they could deduce by how many cigarette butts and cups and things that there were probably I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think 4 or 5 people, individual people, just based on like different cigarettes and cups and things. I haven't seen her comment in a minute.
Cher, you here, honey? I think she's just listening. Radar says he would have been 18 in 2017. He was 16 when he robbed a certain person.
Well, his birthday's in February, like the beginning of February, isn't it? So he would have been just turned. Yeah, he would have just turned 19.
And then what else? And they're communicating in jail, which we all know that.
How ridiculous is that?
Cher said, we think so. And you're welcome, crime. Well, and that doesn't surprise, when it didn't surprise me to hear that, because those bailiffs, even how they act, I mean, they don't act like professional at all with them. They stand over there and joke with them and carry on.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, it's
ridiculous.
like I said, in the podcast, it makes me mad and I wish they would do something about it, but we all have our constitutional rights to act ridiculous, I guess. What are you going to do? Any of their families have came forward? Yes, they did. You know how you get those apologies where they're, I'm sorry, but, so they're really like I'm sorry, not sorry. That's what they got. I'm so sorry for what happened to your child, but I just don't think my child could have done this. There must, and there must be some other reason. And then they will like literally go on. And that's why I always say about Cheryl is just like, she is just the most amazing woman, because I would punch them in the face. It's like, it's one thing of like that you want to apologize, but don't stand here and tell me why your kid's innocent. Like, get the fuck out. Oops, sorry. Get out of here. Stop it. And I watched Kurtz's mom, and it might have been his grandma. Was it Kurtz? and then Mathis's.
Well, Ashley's mom.
And
No,
The Garths.
Ashley's family doesn't believe that she did it.
Mm-mm.
Garrett's grandpa, Ginger and I talked to him in Delphi. He believes he did it, but he blames it on the drugs.
Yeah, I don't.
But like you said in the podcast, when they're in court, I mean, they're not on drugs and they have no freaking remorse whatsoever.
And that's why I think it's important that I do talk to, I mean, because I see it in my family, because I grew up with my cousins and, you know, like they were good people, but I still don't see them hashing out murder plans even in the midst of their addiction. I mean, they're just not. I just don't find that as a viable excuse. I've seen too many people try to use that as an excuse. Yes, it is a component because it does affect your brain waves, all of your, you know, everything to do with your psyche. But at the same time,
I don't, Edward. I'm sorry to interrupt, Mel, but I don't in this case, Edward. I don't in this case. I do not think drugs played a part. I don't think in some cases, I do. I think drugs can make people do things they wouldn't normally do, but not in this case, because if so, they would show some sort of remorse.
mm-hmm.
And they don't. I mean, seriously, if I could video them in court and show you guys how they act in court, no. Somebody asked how Ashley's mom acts in court, or her mom. I don't know that her mom, I talked to her personally. She blames, no, I didn't talk to her mom. I talked to Garrett's mom.
They blamed Garrett.
Yeah, and Garrett's mom blames Ashley. And Ashley's grandma, in my opinion, in the courtroom, she acts very rude.
Whose mom?
Ashley's grandmother.
Oh.
That's my opinion, how she acts inside the courtroom. But Cheryl, Nicole's family, is very sweet towards them. And she was the first one to go to them and say, I don't blame you for what they've done to my daughter.
Yeah.
But
that's why I say, I mean, she's more gracious than I, you know, especially when you come up and then just want to tell me about your sad story when your child is still alive. And point blank, period, bottom line is your child brutally killed my child. So my empathy ends about right there. You know, I don't want to hear about your kid and how whatever excuse there is, because there's no excuse for taking another person's life. And accountability seems to be something that all of these kids have dealt with way before drugs into their childhoods, you know, of not being held accountable and not.
Yeah, Garrett was, from what I have been told, Garrett has not ever been made to be accountable for anything. His mom would always get him out of jail. Always. I mean, she never said enough, you know, no more. I'm not, you know. And sometimes you gotta say
repeatedly.
No more. You've got to be, you know, do the tough love thing.
Yeah, you do.
I've had to do it with my son.
Yeah, and I can't. That would just be so hard. And I try to put myself in those shoes if that happened with my girls, you know. Man, you know, and when my nephew died of an overdose, It was suspicious as well, but because it was like, you guys have got to stop. You know, I tried to talk to my family. I'm like, you know, because he didn't do that to me, because I think I pretty much raised him when he was younger, and he was embarrassed to show himself like that to me. But like, but then when he died, it was like, he died anyways. You know, it's such a hard thing that parents of addicts have to deal with, of just that constant fear.
It is. It is. I mean, like, my son is doing amazingly well right now, but that fear is always in the back of my head, and it probably always will be. I mean, even if, you know, I mean, I just pray every day. I pray that he keeps his kids, you know, in the forefront, and that they're the prize. That, you know, I just pray, pray, pray. I mean, I know that addiction is a struggle, but I just pray that he knows what he has to lose. I mean, I'm still trying to understand it, because I've not ever, you know, but it's hard. I mean, it destroys so much. It destroys them, but it affects everyone around them. It destroys families. I hate drugs. I hate them.
You know, and that's the thing, is when we were all together and everybody was sitting around the table, when we first met after the news of my nephew, and everybody was blaming themselves. It was their fault. And I don't even know where it came from. And I was like, no, would you do that if, like, Tyler was gone? So that was completely drugs. Like, it was the drugs. Would you do all of those things for the drugs? No, you wouldn't. You know, and you can't, like Ginger just said, you can't fix people. They have to, you know, and that's what Brittany said too. You have to want to do it for yourself. You know, you have to do that work, and it's hard. It's a hard thing to understand. I just really do not feel like addiction is an excuse to not be held accountable to the maximum by law for your crimes. That's my personal feeling on it. I don't think it should be used as a get out of a sentence that you deserve.
Right.
I just don't.
Right. And if you do, I mean, I'm talking like, if you get caught with drugs and you get lucky, you know, and the judge doesn't, you know, you could have got this much time, but just, you know, you get lucky and whatever, you better take that as your saving grace. And I don't know. I mean, this world is so sad. It's so sad. It's got so much evil in it.
It does. It really does. Well, was there any other things that anybody wanted to ask or that came up you had questions about?
Pam had a question up here I saw. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm missing comments. What exactly are the charges do they have against these people for what happened to Ray?
There are none.
There aren't any yet, Pam.
There, as of right now, there could be, maybe not burglary, but theft. What's the one I always mess up what it's called? You know, like leaving, not, is it the desecrating of a corpse, or leaving can't remember what the charge. They're all misdemeanors, but they could pile all of those up. But as of right now, I mean, he said it into that was what was so crazy to me is I really didn't think he was going to back up what he said to Dottie in them in private, which will affect me the rest of my life of what he said to her. But then he dug in when Dave did that article. I mean, flabbergasted. I'm not even saying there is a crime that a crime was committed, you know?
I definitely don't think there's a murder.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Murder might be hard to can get a conviction for him on. I don't know all of the circumstances, but like the one thing that I say is if they can prove that it was a pre-planned, targeted meet, then they can, at least with second degree murder, you know? But to me, I think what is the most important thing for loved ones is that they're held accountable. I think they think that it's about the term that they have to serve, you know, and that's why it's like, well, why do you care if he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life for killing Nicole? It's like, are you kidding? Have you lost insight to your own career choice? Because justice is not about, yes, you want them to go away for life, but you want your loved one's day in court and for them to be held accountable. I don't care if it's 1 year, 2 years added on to a life sentence. Ray still deserves that. They still deserve that for, you know, like with what happened with O.J. Simpson. And unbelievable that he got off, you know, and then, but his family, because they wanted something, and it was not about the money for them, but they tried him in a civil court and they won.
Right.
But it was more about the accountability of, you know, of like, people are going to hear what you did, you know, and I know I've even talked with that, you know, a wrongful death suit against Garrett Kurtz is something that they could pursue. Long process and definitely not, you know, easy, but they could pursue a wrongful death suit in Ray's case if they do nothing. And at least it would do what, you know, the Simpsons family and Ron's family got, which was just that feeling of satisfaction of like vindication.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and like Roxy said, I can't remember what charge she said, but even if they charged him for that and he only got 7 years, you know, she just wants, like you said, she wants him to be charged. She wants him to be held accountable.
And the excuse he's given just doesn't hold up. It doesn't hold up. White County is, you know, economically, it's no different than Carroll County, you know, so his lame excuse of the expense of it is, I don't know.
And because, yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, I just praying that he just is being tight-lipped about it, playing chess, letting them think they got away with it. And I mean, that's what I keep praying. Otto asked a question. He said, is there any DNA or physical proof of Garrett's story about Ray's murder went down? And Otto, the cops didn't do their job.
And yes, Crime sleuth, it is.
They left pretty much all the evidence behind. Solo cups, cigarette butts, Ashley Garth's phone. The family found that
Mhm.
and had to take it to the
Yep.
police.
Which is now all inadmissible.
Yeah.
But I'm getting ready to say it on this next podcast. It's the, well, almost the opening part, but they did do a little bit. I think just with all of the search warrants I found. So I don't know. It just seems like it's just it almost feels like it's just an inconvenience. And I think that they had such a prejudice and bias with the way that maybe it was the way that Ray was found or the house. I don't know. But because of that bias, they overlooked so much.
Mm-hmm.
But it strikes me too, is like, how did they find that car so fast? They found that car that very night, the same night on the 17th.
And they
Like,
set it up too.
the search warrants were executed from like early AM on the 18th. Well, no, one was 17th, early AM, and all the way through to the 22nd, I believe. But I mean, they had that car and it was all the way in Lafayette. And I know that I say Lafayette wrong, but I like it like that. So I will continue to say Lafayette.
A lot of people say it differently.
I know it's probably Lafayette, but
Yeah.
I've always just said Lafayette. But yeah, I mean, it's not like Lafayette's close to rent. I mean, it's not like it's, hundreds of miles away, but what is it, about 30 to 40 minutes? I have it on my map, which I can't pull up because I'm on my computer. But yeah, from Ray's to Lafayette.
Yeah.
So
probably about 40.
How did they find his car so fast?
Yeah, and because they set up a sting, right?
No, that was for Nicole.
Oh, Ray's. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ray's car was found in Lafayette later on the night. Like they were, I think it was just after, or was it before Dottie was informed? I mean, it was on the 17th. She said it in her interview that they found his car in Lafayette. And then Jasper County, where Nicole, he was trying to, because it was in her car, right? That's the sting. He was trying to sell it. And that was in Jasper County. So what town is that again? I mean, Rensselaer area. Rensselaer, hello. Think we know who helped him out with that one.
Yep.
Just saying.
I don't know, but it's like I said, I mean, we got to keep pushing and
same punishment JK used on Ashley and then killed Nicole. Same. Yeah. It's a pattern, Radar. It's a pattern.
Yeah.
But Ray was an accident. Exactly. Like, hello.
Well, he said Nicole's was too in the beginning, didn't he?
He sure did. So we're just going to believe this known liar. And that's why it's like important for me, and I do talk about in the next podcast. I'm like giving a lot of it away, but to establish of like we don't know exactly what happened with Ray. He said it was a rough sex act gone wrong, and we heard from Dottie saying that his body was possibly bruised, but the death process in 4 days. The staining left from lividity and liver mortis. It does look like bruising. I mean, I've seen it. And I just wonder if that scene was not staged after the fact or something, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah. He's not real smart. He's just not smart. And that's why it's like with Delphi, I mean, good Lord, unless there was just some major foul ups with the investigation, which I just don't see that as being a possibility either, because there were multiple different agencies, and some of those agencies were experienced. This kid, like, he had to have help. Like, if it was him, it was an impulsive act, and then he called somebody who was smarter than he.
Right.
And that's definitely not Ashley.
That's my. That's my
Maybe the dentist.
thing right there. He's too dumb.
Maybe the dentist. Just saying. Something's off with that guy. I am going to get to the bottom of that, and I don't care if he hears that. You ain't right, buddy. And I've been asking around about him, but, you know, rumor is that he had called. That was one of Garrett's first calls was to him. Well, of course, you know, you're going to call somebody that owes you like that. Did he call him with... Everything is speculation with, especially with Delphi, but...
Oh, yeah. And who? Who did he call?
The dentist. I won't say his name because I don't want us to get sued, but yeah, a dentist and I've actually asked around about him to different people, and
Where's he at?
right there on Springboro Road, where
Okay.
he lives right by the Kurtz. Yeah, pretty. If all of these stories are true, somebody needs to do something about that guy. I don't like it. But I don't know. How excited were you to see that these people, they are going to face other charges? I was pretty pumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm anxious to see when they enter it, what Talitha's charges will be, because I'm assuming she will probably, I don't know though, she's going to try her. If she does decide to go do a jury trial, I think it will bite her in the ass, because they both did. They had more to do with this than what they're saying. And with Jasmine, and what we were talking about, what everybody likes to talk about with Ashley Garth and this whole Derek German, to me, it's nonsense, just because there is no evidence of anything that he could flip on her for to get. She lost her kid for not passing drug tests when on probation. So that's not anything that any prosecutor would be like, oh yeah, that's invaluable information. Let's take down this probation violation. It's not there. But with the Jasmine thing, you kind of have to wonder. I mean, there's no real evidence of it, but there's a whole group of dealing in methamphetamine busts right around that same time. And I know that they knew some of them because they were going back and forth, and they, before we knew that it was Garrett, I was like, who is this guy? Because I'd read a death threat. Like they were like, yeah, let's, you can't, they were after somebody, and he was trying to find him. And it's not the guy that you're thinking of, but they were commenting back and forth, and they're like, yeah, they're so drugged out anymore. You can beat them up, but you really just got to put them down. It's just like, this is freaking Facebook, people. Like the conversations I have found through just being a nosy Facebook looker. It's crazy.
And people are so stupid. And they talk.
Ray was cremated.
But, and I know for a fact that people can lose their kids that easily, like you're saying Ashley did, because I personally know somebody that has just over that, and it wasn't even.
You mean Jasmine?
No, like Ashley did, over failing drug tests. I know somebody that lost every one of her kids, and it wasn't even her that did it. It was her boyfriend. He did. And they lost the kids. And then because he got tired of because he couldn't, ever pass a drug test, and because they were in the system, and trying to get, they just went ahead and signed the kids over just to get out of the system, and so he wouldn't have to worry, you know what I mean? Which is disgusting, choosing drugs and all that. The mom just signed the kids over so her boyfriend could just, go on and do drugs. But yeah, so that does happen.
Yeah. But the thing with and that was the difference between, you could actually with Jasmine, I mean, her kids were taken by the system. I mean, and they were adopted, like they're gone. Like she lost, it's not just a temporary guardianship, emergency guardianship. It was like, you're done. Like your kids are now in foster care and they're no longer yours. You've lost your parental rights. And Talitha, I, from what I read from hers, that I mean, he won in the case against her. Clearly, I mean, she's in jail, but I don't think she really had seen her kids in quite some time. But yeah, I mean, it's. And
Is
then
there
Mathis, huh?
Well, there's. I mean, I guess I'm going to say it's a rumor because I've not heard it other than, is a rumor or a fact. Is there any truth to Talitha being Garrett's stepmom, or is that just something he calls her? Because I know a lot of addicts have, they call everybody their mom or their brother or their sister, or so is there any truth to that?
I mean, not that I have found. I do know that his parents were divorced. I mean, I guess she did like older men. But I don't. If they were there, I mean, there is no marriage license for Mark Kurtz and Talitha, so I'm not even sure if she was married to her kid's father. I didn't find any divorce records because those are all public as well. But she was with that Isom guy who I'm pretty sure is in prison now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, those are not some people to mess with. No wonder.
And then the Polindo that she was arrested with. And
oh, is that why she's facing some time then?
Again, yeah, it's for that case.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's some.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably been. Everybody like focuses on the other ones, but her and Jasmine, man, they're probably the most like.
Yeah, because I don't think she's with Mark. I think I'd have heard that if that was true. But yeah, no wonder she thinks she's the shit though. If she was with them, the Isons or
yeah.
Isons, however you say it. Yeah, because yeah, there's some mean people.
Yeah, I mean, she thinks a lot of herself. You can pick up on that. She's just something else, buddy. And then, if rumors are true with the way she acts up in the jail, man, I would, it's just sick.
I mean,
the thing is like with Jasmine,
I'm just saying, they can be rough if they want to be. Like, you just don't mess with them. That's what I mean. No wonder she thinks that about herself.
And it just really seems like they're also like lackadaisical about this. Like they're just, it's like they still think they're invincible. Crazy.
They absolutely do. I mean, they do. It's disgusting. Yep, Ginger, it's been a joke to them. Oh, it has.
That was it was hard to make the decision on that podcast just for the fact of their criminal histories and the of where they live. And because, this is about Ray and Nicole. But there's, and I found that with other cases, you find incidental findings too. So if I felt like if I had just left out everything that had to do with 2017, it would have been pretty obvious. Did she go away? Can you guys still hear me? Does anybody still hear me? Well, what happened to our host? I don't see Angela no more. So you guys have to look at my eyeball, my pulsating eyeball.
Hey, guys.
There she comes.
Can you guys hear me?
The talking eyeball. Of course, Otto.
Can you guys see me and hear me?
I'm going to zoom in on it and make it even more creepy.
Maybe I should make sure my stuff's working.
I think so too, Ginger.
My camera's working. My audio's working. Okay, you guys can see me and hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, my power went out. So if it happens again, y'all, that's what happened. I'm surprised it went right back to this.
Yeah, I never left. I'm just here.
But I think because on StreamYard, it has a hard time with me ending my lives anyways. So that's probably why I was able to come right back. So, well, there's Thomas Tier, Patty, right? And I saw West. Hey, West, how you doing? But yeah, my power went out for a minute. It blinked and I was like, and then it came back right back on. And then I saw you guys for a second and then it clicked off on me. So
what does anybody think about the timing of Ashley Garth's Facebook posts on the 15th?
I'm going to let you all answer. Mel, I'm going to quit talking for a while.
Radar. Yeah, because I definitely don't want to have a Michael Jackson's eye.
Did you hear Mel's question, guys? She wants to know what y'all thought of Garth's posts on the 15th. If you didn't see them, then you won't be able to answer, and she can't run through them.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder. I don't know. I don't know how, because I mean, I've read what like Roxy's statement that she first made in the group. Like I feel like I've read that several times and I totally missed that she said they found messages in the phone between Ray and Ashley. How did I miss that? But yeah, so if
I saw myself spinning, guys, so
if Ashley was the one that was baiting Ray that night, then her doing that on Facebook would have all just been a ruse. I don't know.
Yeah. So just real quick, guys, we have an outage here in my area with my internet, New Wave. I lost internet earlier. I didn't know if I was going to be able to come on, but I'm on now. I might lose internet or I might lose power again. If I do, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe with Randy. I'm not sure.
Oh, but you know what?
What?
I just remembered something. The law enforcement had said that had not been used since 2018. So it wouldn't have been from that phone that she could have possibly been messaging Ray. You know? But do we trust them?
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. I'm to the point where I don't know who I trust anymore from what. I mean, you know what I mean? I've got like a less than a
Lord,
Huh?
I'm trying,
I've got like a less than a handful of
They don't squirm.
certain law enforcement.
I don't see it. Can you ask me?
Thanks, Otto. It only flickered.
I can't see it, Wes. Can you ask it again about a question about the dentist?
Oh, I must have missed that one.
And thank you. I love your Doberman. I have a Doberman too. He's my baby. He doesn't have cropped ears, but
Oh, there you are, baby. Come here. Come here, sweetheart. I was looking to see where Oliver was. You should see him when he's got to go potty.
yeah, go ahead, Radar.
Come here. My baby boy. Yeah, it's a mitts.
Yeah, so there is this dentist in, okay, well, if you can Google around where the YMCA is in, I think it's a Brookston. See, like right there between Delphi and Brookston, there's Springboro, but it doesn't seem like Springboro actually has like, you don't have like a Springboro address. You have like a Delphi or a Brookston. But right along in there, right where Garrett Kurtz's family lives, there is this dentist. And there's a lot of rumors and speculations that have been thrown out from different sources about him and having some pedophilia, different goings abouts. And there's some strange things on his Facebook as well. And he takes young boys into his home. And the person had said that like Garrett was one of them. And there was like a few different people that had said that. And that someone had also said that Garrett called him from jail to try to get him out of trouble. And so my thing is with him is it's probably, it doesn't like, when things come up and you find incidental findings. I've seen that with the Amia case. Even though she was found safe, there was so much corruption that was found within these youth facilities that is just, it would sicken you guys, like to see it. I mean, to hear about it. And so I just wondered if that was another one. And then with this weirdo guy right around that same area where all of these other camps are, is there something going on there? And why would he call him? Is it because you owe me, dude, for what you did to me? That was all I was kind of in. But incidentally, I would just like to, if there's something that he is doing and has been getting away with because of his status, he needs to be taken down. And that is like an incidental finding of a case like this is other criminal activities. And I just wonder if that's not one of them. No, not that one, Otto. I do know who you're talking about, though. And yeah, that guy's set like crazy. I wish I liked coffee.
Oh, I love coffee.
Oh, just wonder if that was her post questioning JK's sexuality. Yeah, I mean, she at that on that one, she was just basically like, she said, "Here it is again," and it does say "aven," and I think she just had it hit the V instead of a G, but here it is again, even more proof that Garrett is a FAG. And I have to go back and read about. Aw.
A lot of interesting finds.
Yeah, I'm nothing if not anal. Yeah, I've never heard of him holding a gun to Ron. I can't speak to any of that at all.
Who said that? I can't speak about it. I don't know who said it. Probably Radar, Big Mouth.
Exactly, Crime Sleuth. That is what I mean. Yes.
I don't know. I can't speak about it. I don't, Ron doesn't like me to speak about his personal life, so I can't confirm or deny.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put it past the kid like that.
I can only say that
he threatened his own cousin's life. You know, I mean,
over dogs.
Over those dogs, and oh my gosh, like, oh, when I was recording that, like, I went on this long rant to the microphone for like 20 minutes over that issue in animal abuse. I had to edit it down a lot because I went on and on and on, and it was just ended up was like, oh, I'm just like here ranting to Blue microphone, like nobody's listening. Yeah, it's upsetting. It's upsetting. I think I could probably, I know it sounds terrible, but I could probably hurt a human before I could hurt a dog or an animal of any kind. Like, because sometimes humans deserve a good punch in the face. Dogs don't. Horses don't.
I know. And you know, and it a lot of grandma's hollering for you. That's a sign right there too. You know, when people are mean to animals, abuse animals, or you know, and I mean that's a sign right there.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that either. It kills me. It breaks my heart because animals are like kids to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just that pathology, the psychological pathology of
it was in the paper
animals and the
I didn't know that was in the paper. When?
I didn't either.
Today? Because there was a big thing in the paper today. I will say this. I mean, not to get off on Delphi, but there was a big write-up in the comment. Tobe interviewed, and, you know, for I don't know how long in the murder investigation, they've always said perp or perps. And every time Tobe spoke today, he said he alluded to one or more. And I didn't get to read the whole article because I didn't buy the paper from the store. And then I only seen a clip of it. So from what I saw, I don't know that Tobe actually confirmed that they had a fingerprint. I think he just said possibly. And then people ran with that. But I didn't see the whole article, so I don't know. But is that the paper that it was in, Radar?
I think I just read that one today. Someone sent it to me. I don't remember anything about Ron Logan being in there.
I don't either. I'm sorry, West, I can't. That proves my loyalty. I don't say things about my friends that they ask me not to. Like if you told me something in confidence, West, and you told me not to, I wouldn't. That's just the type of person that I am. And anybody on here that knows that I don't repeat things that I'm not supposed to repeat. And I just don't think it's anybody's business. you know, I just don't think Ron Logan is anybody's business. That's just my opinion. I think he's been drugged through enough. And people right now are still, even after HLN confirmed that he's not a suspect and everything,
know, right?
they're still trying to make him that.
And that's what's upsetting is I know that no matter what you uncover or like how much proof you show, especially with like the Ashley Garth and Garrett Kurtz, you know, like it doesn't matter how much evidence you can show to discount a rumor. People that when you get tunnel vision and you want to fit a suspect to the crime instead of the crime to a suspect, what happens to Ron happens. You know, you want it to be him, so you have to find something, and even if it's not logical. And that's the thing with the Ashley Garth, it's not logical. With Derek German, no matter what you think of Derek German, it's not a logical path of investigation. And Ron Logan, in my opinion, is not a logical path of investigation either, but to each his own, you know. I feel bad for the guy. I think he's got a terrible, and he said it the best. He's like, oh, I guess I'll try not to have people murdered on my property again. I mean, imagine being in his shoes. And that's the thing. The impact of murder extends so far past. Like I was just watching Killer Unknown. I don't know if you guys have checked that out on ID, but I really like it. And I really wish we had a group like that Tulsa has. But you know, of course, the boyfriend did it. And so this guy, like for 30 years, he's lived with that of he thought he did it. Everybody else thought he did it. And you see it so much in unsolved cases. You know, with the Shannon Paul case, there's like 18 people that 18 suspects, and everybody thinks that this is the killer. And these men have had to live with that for almost 20 years of people thinking, and it changes your whole world, you know. And the same with Ron, you know, his life, you know, it's just sad of what happens in the fallout of murder to the Patties and the German family and to Anna and her family. I mean, some of the things that have been said about them, like, are so despicable. Like, I can't even put it into words how sick it makes me for the human race. It's sick.
I know. And I left all the drama groups, but I know it's still going on. I know it is.
Yeah, I did too. And it's just like, and everyone feels like they're owed an explanation. It's like, nope, nobody owes you anything because you're looking into a crime on Facebook. Like, get out of here. Like, and I feel the same way about me. I mean,
Hold on. Patty, that we will not. I'm not trying to be rude, but we will not talk about that in my chat. I don't want no part of it. No mention of that in my chat, please. That Harvey put that out. If you want to talk about that, go ask him about it. And he said he didn't want to discuss it. Well, he should not have put the video out then. I don't want no part of that. Sorry. Go ahead, Mel. I'm sorry, but I just want that out right now. I don't want no part of that. That is danger ground as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, it is. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I forget. I'm ADHD, so I have no idea what I just said.
But yeah, and not just, I mean, there's been several people that have been, so many people's lives ruined, accused and side by sides and and the thing is they're not just ruining that person's life, they're ruining their children's lives. They have to go to school, and then they get bullied,
Exactly.
and their wives have to go to work, and and they're not. It's just awful. It's just awful.
Yeah. I plan on having discussion with Dapper Dad and on these episodes I did with the Shannon Polk case. My dad has a master's in psychology, and like just understanding that human condition of, I don't know what it is, but I see it everywhere. A kid is kidnapped, a child dies, someone is murdered, and people want to immediately like, okay, what did they do to deserve it? And I feel it's a protective, subconscious thing that for some people, not all, I think there are just evil, mean people online, but I think that we don't want to fear for our child or our loved ones. So we have to like, okay, it has to be the mom, like, or it has to be someone they know, or it has to be because of ABC drugs or because of their lifestyle or whatever, because if it's not, and it's just some crazy maniac, then we're in danger too. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of why people do what they do. Like,
Yep.
there are a lot of people that they are the definition of trolls, and they just want to be spiteful and mean and horrible and make people feel horrible. But I think a lot of people, they're you just type, you're typing real quick, and it's like, I see it all the time. Well, she was on drugs, so that's probably why. Because it's like, I can't, that can't happen to my daughter. So I'm just going to type that out real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I think that's where a lot of that victim blaming and family blaming and, of blaming substance or a life choice, because if it's not some of those things, then we're in danger too.
Yep. Yep. Because it can happen to anybody. The addiction part,
Yeah.
It is not exempt from anybody.
It has no discrimination. But I better go drink water.
I was getting ready to just tell you probably need to get out there and go to bed.
I need to take my meds and drink a bunch of water so my kidneys can heal again.
Well, thank you for coming on here.
Yes, thank you for having me.
And helping me.
Yeah, anytime. You do great. I tried to do an interview with Angie for my podcast, and she got all nervous. Oh, Cheryl's here.
Yes, Cheryl is here. We love you, Cheryl, so very, very much. Can't wait to see you again. Yes, Mel tried to do an interview with me, but the airhead I am, you guys. Nick gets a kick out of that. I wasn't expecting to be like, I didn't know she was like recording me right then and there. And so I thought, we were going to like talk a little bit, and then like, I thought we were going to go over what she was going to ask me, and then like, but no, I'm like, what? And so she caught me way off guard, and it was bad. So
I sent you that all in a message. Did you not read the message? Or like, hey, I want to call you to do A, B, C, and D and have you talk about this.
No, she just said, hey, can I interview you for the podcast? And I'm like, sure. And then she calls me, and then I'm like, oh, I'm on here right now. She's like, well, yeah, what did you think? See, Mel and her brilliant mind works way different than mine.
Oh, stop it.
So,
you helped ground me a little bit.
Thank you, Wes. But Mel is she is awesome. I'm just, overly impressed with her.
I know. I think that's what I'll do. Because she does such a great job. But when she was like knowing she was being recorded, she froze on me.
Yeah. Good night, crime.
Cheryl gives great interviews.
Have a good day tomorrow. Who does? Cheryl.
Cheryl gives, and Cher, because they pause in between their words. But they give great interviews just because of the content, but also because of the editing. It's so easy to edit out theirs and get them ready to go quickly because of the way that they talk and how a lot of us, I say, like, and then it's like a run-on sentence. Poor Ed. The first interview with Ed, he talked so fast. And it was so in the Audacity, like all you see is just like these little blurbs of like words. I mean, it's just like the whatever you call that of sound. And his is just one big run on one, like a solid talk. Does Cheryl have anything to add? What is she saying? She was threatened?
I don't know. I have to go back up here.
Cher is his sister. And I'm not a teacher.
Cheryl said at one point, I was told that me and my family were in grave danger because of the drug ring around Kurtz and his gang.
Hmm.
And like, I believe that about a child goes missing that often. And Cheryl said, you scared the crap out of me when you told me what not to say. So I have to stop and make sure I am not saying.
Whatever. I'm not scary.
Oh, I'm fine, West. I'm fine.
No, but I freaking feel like that Janice Morissette song right about now. Isn't it ironic? Because I was homeschooled and I despise homeschool because I was homeschooled, but it was really like no school. So I didn't actually go to school until 8th grade. Like I don't have a education up until then. So first grade, I went to school and then didn't go to school until 8th grade. So I had to learn all of those phonetics and everything that you learn on my own later in life. But it's like freaking, isn't it ironic that right now I'm like homeschooling my kids? Never in a million years thought I would be doing that. So, because I despise it so much from my own experience.
Yeah, but
they're pretty good though. They don't really need my help, thank God. I feel so bad for parents with like elementary school students right now.
Me too, because the schools are so much more advanced. I mean, like they learn now so much sooner. Like my granddaughter is in, I gotta think, 2nd or 3rd grade. She's learning what I did in 6th. My 6th grader is learning what I did in 9th or 10th. It's like, what? But I homeschooled Daniel for a while. And I know a lot of people who do homeschool, and I know a lot of kids who graduated from homeschooling, and in my opinion, they advance a lot faster. Well, they used to. I don't know about now.
Yeah, as long as the parents do it right and they get, because education to me is it's so much more than just like learning. It's this social.
Yeah.
It's the social aspect that you just cannot replace in adulthood. And I know that it's hindered me majorly from being so isolated as a child. You know, you just have that like this, you know, you're socially awkward because you've not been around anyone but, you know, your immediate family for that's the part. But I do know people that homeschool their kids, and I mean those kids are so much more advanced than others, and they do 6-month-long trips and like they experience all different kinds of kids from all over the world, and that's invaluable. So that's way better than school.
Yeah.
But
And like Daniel's cousin on his dad's bio side, she graduated like a year and a half earlier. So I mean, it just depends on, like you said, this, you know, as long as they get the social aspect of it.
Yeah, but I think my experience is always just because it has been from the religious, like the religious undertone of like conservative Baptist churches. And the reason why they do it is because like you can't have your kid in the secular world. So you have to isolate them from the world. And it just doesn't really work that way. Like, you know, it's not biblical either.
Right.
I bet, Cheryl, I can't imagine. I'm so glad that my kids are pretty self-sufficient with their school. Like, ugh.
Otto's talking about the paddle being back. I mean, I didn't see all the comments, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people, parents probably won't agree, but I say good. As long as they don't, you know, take advantage of it, or, you know, as long as they do it properly or whatever. Because, I mean, I think that's a lot of the problem in a lot of the schools today, is when they took that out. But that's just my opinion. I know I'm probably going to get like everybody yelling at me right now, but
yeah, well, mine was because I've had those paddles in the school, and you know, when you're getting paddled by a man that is not your father, I think there's other things that schools have been stripped of their rights, and that's on parents, you know, that they just don't like. In my kid's school, I mean, the rule is 0 tolerance for any kind of like fight. But the same thing with like guns is the kids that don't care about graduating or any kind of punishment is they're going around just beating the crap out of kids left and right. And if they defend themselves, they get suspended and or expelled as well, which those kids can lose. They care, and they lose, you know, scholarships and things over things like that of just trying to protect themselves.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen the videos, and that rule is so terrible because they don't respect the law. They don't, you know, there's people in life that they don't care how many rules and laws that you put into place, they're going to break them. And it's the same thing with guns is you're not going to fix the problem. Just look at Sierra Leone, what happened there. I mean, just do a little research in countries where that has happened. I mean, you just law-abiding citizens are, and like just with those kids, they're going to follow it, but not people that don't care about them.
Yeah. I mean, I had to paddle. I had to paddle once too, Cher, and I was in kindergarten.
Yeah, me too.
The teacher had candy on her desk, a whole bunch of it. I walked by and took a piece, and I got to paddle. I never got to paddle again, though.
Would your paddle have holes in it?
Yep. It was called Big Bertha.
The paddle that my principal had in the only 2 I went to kindergarten and first grade for elementary, but their paddle was huge and it had holes in it. And he would always say, you see those holes, they're made for it to hurt worse.
Yep. But things were different then too. I mean, different generation. I mean, we grew up differently. There was respect then. The kid, but then I think it all goes back to discipline though too. I mean, parents raise their kids different.
Yeah.
Today they don't. I mean, like
and anymore, like if
here,
parents really want to recreate what we had with the spankings, all they need to do is take their kids' phones away from them and like really mean it. Because
yeah,
I can remember when mine were little, one time I decided that I was going to ask them, like, what would you rather have me do? Would you rather get a spanking? Would you rather not have snacks for a week or no TV? And one daughter, she was like 2 weeks of grounding. She would prefer that. And the other one was like, well, I'll take the spanking because that's like over real quick, So,
right.
like your kid, you have to, whatever your kid's currency is what you have to use. And most kids nowadays, their currency is the game boxes or their phone. So you don't need to spank them. And even babies, I don't know. It's crazy to me to see babies like scrolling through an iPad. Like, how do they know how to do that? That's great.
I know, but you're right. You take their phone and that does them in. I mean,
parenting is it boils down to consistency. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, entitlement. And that's what you see with some of these suspects.
Yep.
All right. Well, I got to get. It was fun chatting.
Yes, it was. Thank you again. You go get some rest and get feeling better.
I will. Hopefully the next episode it's all pretty much pre-recorded. I just got to put it all together. So hopefully it'll be out pretty soon, in a couple of days, just because I've been sick. So I said a couple of days on the podcast, but it's probably going to be a couple more days just because I been sick today and yesterday. So.
Okay. We will be looking forward to that.
Okay. All right. Good night.
Good night, Mel. Sweet dreams. Love you.
You too.
Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Good night, Patty. Otto saying bye to somebody else, or is Otto saying goodbye? Good night, Sharon. Sweet dreams, doll. Good night, Johnny boy. Thanks for coming, Patty. So, good night, West. Are you leaving? Are we all leaving? It is. We have been on here for a long time. Otto. I was going to say something. I forgot now. Cher says no. Cher's a night owl too, guys. You know that? Yes, y'all probably know that. Wes said, I thought we were. Well, I'm not even going to say it because I can't tell you who, but I'm going to let you guys, like, I'm going to try to give you hints. But I don't even know how. Okay, if you guess, then I'll say. That's the only way. I ran into someone today, right smack dab. And so I already knew, but I can clear it up for everybody. Right now. At least part of it. Most of it. No. Nope. That'd be a whole other freaking show, man. Without even looking up. Okay. He was coming this way. Okay, so there you know. There. I gave that part away. Down the aisle. I was going this way. And without even looking up, I knew who it was by the voice. Because I've heard the voice so many times. By watching videos. So that's one way how everybody knows he's not the bridge guy. Never been on the bridge. I mean, you know, not in the video on the bridge. No, West. All right, Radar. I was hoping they wouldn't come in and ruin our show. Thank you, Radar. Thanks to Mel and her wonderful podcast. And then by the corner, then I looked out of the corner of my eye, and then that really confirmed. And of course, he's wearing. Nope. Nope. Well, you know of, he's talked about all the time on 2 channels. So anyways, my husband's over here in another aisle. I run back down there and I'm like, and he's like, no, he's in Kentucky. He's in jail, West. Nope. Not a cop. Nope. A Delphian. Come on, guys. Nope. I'm trying to think of another hint. Remember, no, he's talked about on 2 channels all the time. I think he was just talked about today. Nope. At least I saw the video today. Nope. Oh, you guys, come on. He was wearing no. He's not a YouTuber, and I don't think he's a good guy. Otto. Otto got what he was wearing. So see, he's talked about all the time on 2 channels. You already said it? Before I missed it, Otto, I'm sorry. Yep, I sure did, Otto. And that's what I meant. He was mentioning a YouTube today. At least that's when I saw the YouTube about the gate. Well, hi, Tammy Lee. How you been, girl? Yeah, he's definitely not the one on the bridge, which I never thought he was on the bridge. Yeah, he don't have the gait of the guy on the bridge. But I still think that everything else is strange. But I just wanted to tell you all that. Oh my gosh, Radar. You know why me and Radar get along so well? Because we're both airheads. Yes, West. He is. Yes, Radar. She's just one of my very special friends. She is awesome, Tammy Lee. She is. She's an angel. She's so funny too. My grandkids do too, Nick. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I am tired. Alone. He was alone, West. And he's wearing that flannel shirt, though. I thought that was funny. Oh, Tammy, we went over Mel's podcast. If you have not listened to Mel's podcasts about the Nicole, Bowen, and Ray Hanish cases, oh man alive, you've got to listen to those. She is so good. She sounds like she's been a podcaster forever, like a professional. So I try to, every time she does a podcast, read, then discuss on here about it. Because we're trying so hard to be a voice for Ray and Nicole. But Ray, you know, they haven't even charged them or Garrett at all for Ray. So he didn't have anything, Otto. It was like he just walked in and he came down this aisle. And I was like going, because I was looking for pineapple juice. Because my mom's hooked on pineapple juice and 7-Up because she had what she thought was a UTI a few weeks ago. And she Googled the best thing for it because she don't like cranberry juice. And she found that. And now she loves it and she's hooked on it. So, and that Dollar General in Delphi is different than this one. So I was lost because it's not in the same aisle. So, I mean, I really was looking for that. And I was getting ready to go down that aisle. But then and so then I didn't want him to think I was following him in case he recognized me. And I really wasn't trying to. Let me see if I can, Tammy. I can't remember. I think do my links work in here, guys, or not? I think they do. Just 1 second. There you go, Tammy. That's the first episode. That's on YouTube. But she has podcasts on Spreaker. That's her main channel. And you can also listen on Spotify or Apple. Now, when she puts them out the day of on Spreaker, you can go on there and chat with anybody that is listening. And daggone it, 10 had trouble the other day. She couldn't figure that out. And it is difficult if it's your first time. And I forgot tonight to ask Mel to help explain that for 10. But there's usually like a chat button. It'll look like a bubble, and you click on that and it pulls up the chat. That's how that works, 10, if you're still in here. I hope did I miss 10 leaving? Yeah, my mom loves that pineapple juice. But yeah, Otto, he didn't have nothing in his cart. He went down. I don't know what he was looking for, and but I did watch him walk. And I mean, I wasn't purposely following him or anything. Honestly, I wasn't, and I didn't want him to think I was. But because I was looking for that, and I had to go around, you know, I was able to watch him and look at him, and he's also too tall, believe it or not. He really is, in my opinion. Yes, thank you, Radar. NSAIDs and grapefruit don't mix. Me, West, did I grow up near him? I was born and raised in Lafayette. However, all my life, on weekends and through the summer, I did. So, I mean, I guess you could say I kind of grew up in Carroll County because my aunt and uncle lived in Pittsburgh, Burnettsville, and Delphi in the country. So, I mean, on the weekends in summertime, I would spend with them on their farm. And that was part of the reason I wanted to move this way, to get out of the big city. And I mean, I loved Carroll County. I thought it was a nice place, nice people and everything. And I still do think that, I mean, there's still wonderful people here and everything. Unfortunate events have taken place. That sucks really bad. I saw them afterwards, Ohio. Did he ever tell what that mask was? Really, Radar? I never heard of that. Ugh. I can do grapefruit, but I have to have a lot of sugar in it, man. I can't drink it straight. Radar, I was not. Now, that'll be the new freaking rumor, though. Probably right. Hey, he spoke to me first, and he was polite. Yay, 10. Good luck. Prayers. Sleep well. I didn't even guess because, I mean, I was like, what in the world? And I saw all the other comments and I was like, I don't. It did, didn't it, Nick? Oh, I don't know, Tammy Lee. Is he? Come here, sweetheart. Come here, baby. Come here. Oh, I know you probably gotta go potty here in a minute. Mommy, take you to potty in a minute, baby. Oh, was he? I didn't even see that. Yeah, he can wear a bandana. Sweet dreams, 10. Mordato say, I missed it. If you think about it, if flannel shirt guy is the caretaker of this property, you would think he would be super aware of who is on that property. So if he is not lying. Well, Otto's got a good point. And West, you're right, but he probably pretty much does know most. I mean, unless they're outsiders. My thing, and I'll just say this again without, like I said, I don't want to get too much into Delphi. My thing is that him and his brother was there that day. He drove. His brother rode a bike. He usually walks, but I have been there many, 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 many times. Radar, Randy, others, not seen him there. But that day he certain happens to be there. And right there, and in my opinion, he did deter Derek. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I do know for a fact there was a couple under the bridge. So no, I mean, I don't think he was lying about that part, but I do think he's wanted to buy Ron's land forever. And that's all I'm going to say. Oh, I don't know, Tammy. That's news to me. I don't know. But I do. I mean, like I still think it's a serial killer. I'm not stalking him. No, not yet, West. What are they talking about? I'm calling everyone. Can y'all hear me and see me? That's the good thing about, hi, Matt. I guess that's a good thing about StreamYard. When I lose connection like that, I can enter back in. Yep, my power went out again. I hate this because Matt just came on. But I am going to have to go because I got to let Oliver's got to go. It happened earlier too, Tammy. Oh, Daddy took him out. I can stay on for a few more minutes. We've been on for 3 hours. I don't know. It's raining. And we've got an internet outage going on here. I lost internet. My internet was down for like 2 hours, I think, earlier or something like that. I'm going to see if I got a message back from Randy. Well, I asked him about tomorrow. Then I sent him some information and he did a thumbs up. I don't know if he's doing a thumbs up about tomorrow or the info I sent him. So I asked. Hey guys, you see me? Okay. I think I'm going to sign off and say goodnight while I have a chance to say goodnight. But I will see you guys tomorrow night, and hopefully with Randy. And we'll be talking about a case that has not been mentioned for quite a while. It's been kind of stuffed in the background. But West, I have not gotten that yet. But you know, for a whole week we didn't get mail, and I was like, "What? We're gonna have to go up to the post office and see what's going on," because our neighbor did. But then we started getting it again. So I don't know if it has to do with this virus or not, because we're not allowed to say the other word on YouTube anymore. But what, Radar? I probably missed part of the conversation. Anyways, so I'm going to sign off, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow night. And hopefully, like I said, Randy will be here. If not, I'm sure we'll have a good chat otherwise. But you all have a good rest of the night or morning now. Thank you for coming, Matt. I'm sorry, this always happens. Thank all of you for coming. I hope you enjoyed the discussion about Ray. Please pray about that. We've got to get some attention to that. Yes, hopefully it'll be coming soon, West. But thank you for sending those. Oliver will be so excited, and I will sure show it on YouTube. Radar, yeah. She's hyped because she's been like gone for a while. I wish I was hyped. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you all. And God bless. Y'all have sweet dreams. Okay, West. I'll just let you know, and I'll say thanks. She does, Tammy. She does. All right, guys. I love you. Sweet dreams, and God bless.